Hello, my name is Daniel Kampsen. I am an American Academic Advisor here to talk with you today about the American college experience and some of the special features of the American education system. This presentation will be great for anybody who's thinking about studying in the United States, particularly for their undergraduate education. So today's program is going to be broken down into 4 different sections. First, we're going to talk a little bit about credits because that is something that international students usually have a little bit of trouble getting a handle on. We'll talk about grading in terms of the types of grades that are given at American universities, and we'll talk a little bit about how that translates into the Belarusian grading system. Then we're going to talk about advising, which is a very important part of your experience in the United States, and then other smaller features of the U.S. education system that will be very interesting for you. So credit. This is one of the most unique aspects of American higher education. You must earn credit in order to advance in college and work towards a degree. Credits awarded for classes generally depend on how many hours per week you spend in that particular class. So the rule of thumb is that the more time that you spend in class, the more credits that you will earn for that class. And it's important to understand that you will always know how many credits a class is worth when you are registering. So, a good example of this, if you're taking a class that's worth 4 credits, you're probably going to be in class physically for 4 hours per week. So that's a good way to think about it. Getting a little more specific about credits, as I said before, this is the unit that's used to identify the average amount of time that's spent in class. So generally in the US, courses are normally 3 to 4 credit hours. Often the term is shortened to credit. A 3 credit hour class often meets for about 50 minutes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or for 80 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. A 4 credit hour class will meet for 50 minutes per more 4 days a week, generally. But every university is different. So it's important that you understand how your university handles credits. When you earn credits, you move towards graduation. Most universities require from undergraduate students 120 to 128 credits to graduate. So usually what this works out to is about 14 to 16 credits per semester, or 4 to 5 classes per semester. Again, depending on the university, this can be a little bit different. Some universities offer a lot of varying levels of credits, and you could find yourself taking 6 or 7 classes, and some universities are very normalized with their credit structure, and you will only take 3 or 4. So it just depends. Again, you need to understand what the situation is at your particular university. So moving away a little bit from credit, the classes that these credits come from are from 4 general areas: the university core curriculum, college or school requirements, major requirements, and general elective classes. We're going to talk a little bit about a few of these. Core curriculum. All students must fulfill the university's core curriculum in order to graduate. It doesn't matter what your major is. It doesn't matter what your minor is. Nothing else really matters. These courses are generally taken from a variety of academic disciplines and are utilized to broaden the student's knowledge base and their ability to think critically. So an example of this, many universities have a core curriculum that requires science, math, social science, and humanities. And generally, you would be expected to take somewhere between 8 and 12 credits in each of these areas. And you'll have a lot of different classes that you can choose from. So if you're really into science and math, then you can take really advanced science and math classes. If you're not, you can take easier science and math classes and then harder social science or humanities classes. It's really up to you how you choose to fulfill these requirements, but you just need to make sure that you do. And your advisor, as we'll get into a little bit later, will help you with this. The thing to remember about the core curriculum is that it forms the basis of the liberal arts core that's so central to higher education in the United States. So you've heard some discussion about the college and the school. This can be confusing because a lot of universities and colleges are also called colleges. Basically, what a college and a school is a subset within the university or the overarching college where the major or the minor are housed. For instance, the University of Michigan has many colleges that are a part of it. The College of Arts and Sciences, College of Social Work, College of Nursing, School of Education, etc. The College of Worcester, which is a small liberal arts college in America, also has colleges and schools within it. The College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Nursing, etc. So these are just the areas that are located within the larger infrastructure. In my experience, this term is generally interchangeable with the term faculty in the European context. When I was studying in Poland, I was studying at Academic University, and I was associated with the Faculty of Law. In America, that Faculty of Law would be called the College or School of Law. That's the best way to think about it. So the reason why I've talked a little bit about colleges and schools is because they also have unique academic requirements that differ from the general education requirements and can be in addition to your major or minor requirements. It's not really appropriate to talk a whole lot about this right now, but you should just make sure that you understand that these differences can exist and that you should speak with your academic advisor so you can fully understand what type of coursework you need. So grading. This is another thing that's a little bit different for international students. First of all, with grading, the most important thing that you're going to hear a lot about is GPA, which is an acronym for grade point average. And basically, this is a number that is calculated from the grades that you earn while you're studying at an American college or university. So when you study at a U.S. university, your GPA is going to be on a scale from 0 to 4. 4 is the highest, 0 is the lowest. The things you should know about this: GPA is very important at U.S. universities, and generally students must maintain some minimum GPA to continue studying at the university. Of particular interest to international students, a lot of scholarships that you may qualify for and may receive will come with a GPA requirement. Some majors require a minimum GPA. So my advice is to understand what those requirements are and to make sure that it's feasible to meet those requirements. From my experience, usually these requirements fall somewhere in the area of a 2.5 grade point average all the way up to a 3.3 grade point average. So just be aware of those requirements. We've talked a little bit about GPA. The next thing that you really need to understand is how the GPA is figured out based on the grading scale. So on the right, there's a graphic indicating the types of letter grades that are given in America. And this is just an overview. Again, these can be a little different at every university. Certainly the percentages can change, but this is a pretty good overview of it. So you can see A, B, C, D, and F with the appropriate pluses and minuses. Recent research has shown that the average grade given at a U.S. university right now is somewhere around a B. And this means that 3.0 is often an average GPA, or grade point average. But again, as with most of the things that I've talked about today, this can vary greatly and be very different depending on the institution that you study at. Some institutions give much higher grades than this on average, and some institutions actually give much lower grades. The one thing that you need to consider, though, within all of this is that professors at American universities will give all of these grades. If you go to a class and you don't attend the class very often, there's a high chance that you might receive a D or an F. If your work is poor, you might receive a D or an F. So you have to understand that a certain amount of work will be necessary in order to at least move out of these lower grade ranges. So a quick note about Belarusian grades. I've done a little research about this. I actually had some email communication with the international admissions expert at my university back in the United States. And generally, this is kind of the breakdown that you're going to be looking at. If you're a 9 or a 10 in Belarus, you're looking at an A to an A minus. If you're an 8, 7, or 6, you're looking somewhere between a B plus and a C plus. If you're a 5, 4, or a 3, you're a little lower, a C to a D minus. And then 1 and 2 is generally considered to be an F. So, as long as you're probably, at a 7, 8, 9, or a 10, you'll be a pretty good candidate for admission to U.S. universities. Anything below a 7, and you might want to work on bringing that up a little bit. So moving on to the next topic of discussion today, I'm going to give you a pretty intricate overview of advising at American universities. Advising is very important in the U.S. because American colleges and universities are well noted for their student-centered approach. As such, you will encounter a host of advisors whose main job is really to work with you and assist you with whatever problems you might have. So advisor in America is a formal job title that's used to describe university staff who assist students in their academic experience. Each student will absolutely work with multiple advisors during their time in the U.S. Some examples, and this is not an exhaustive list at all, but some examples would be an international student and scholar advisor, an academic advisor, an international academic advisor, a faculty advisor, or a school and college advisor. So I'm going to go through each one of these individually and give you a better idea of what the competencies of these particular positions are. Okay, so an international student and scholar advisor, usually this person will be housed in the Office of International Programs and will probably be assigned to you when you first matriculate to your university in the United States. This person will be focused on advising international students and scholars on matters related generally to their immigration status. There might be a few other things that they do as well. They might assist with social activities and things of that sort, but the main focus is going to probably be 70 to 80% immigration based. Okay, so first and second year advisors. These advisors generally work with undergraduate students within the first 2 years of their matriculation. Generally speaking, these advisors work with students before they have declared or chosen a major. Students will receive advising in course selection, declaring a major, which is a process unto itself, making a successful transition to college, and trying to figure out where exactly they fit in the landscape of the college as a whole. International academic advisors. So in addition to first and second year advisors, the international academic advisor has duties that pertain really only to international students. So they will talk about academics. They will provide other types of support that's going to be more related to adjustment and acculturation on campus. So this is the type of advisor that you might want to talk to if you are having trouble adjusting, culture shock, social issues. These advisors are really great for these types of situations. Okay, moving on, we're going to talk about faculty advisors. So many students will have a faculty advisor assigned to them from the academic department that houses their major. This advisor generally will assist students on requirements for their major or their minor, and may help students in identifying things like internships, research opportunities, selecting graduate programs, things like that. The one caveat about faculty advisors is a lot of times this is something that you might only have if you attend a smaller college or university. Larger colleges and universities have started moving more towards the next item that I'm going to speak about, the school or college advisor. So this type of advisor, again, mostly at larger universities, is employed by the school or the college, and all they do is advise students. They're not faculty members. They don't teach classes. And they basically do the same thing as the faculty advisor, but they simply do it more. And then that's kind of the gist of that position. So if you're at a larger university, you might have a school or college advisor. At a smaller university, you're probably more likely to work more closely with faculty. And then there's other types of advisors, believe it or not, that you might run into on a U.S. campus. There's the study abroad advisor, who will help you if you want to study in another country. You have the Greek life advisor, who deals with fraternities and sororities. We'll talk about that in a minute. There's the multicultural student advisor, which is what I actually am at my university. And they sometimes will deal with international students, but primarily focus on multicultural American students. There are student group advisors that advise various groups on campus. And then there are also academic success and improvement advisors who deal with students who are struggling. And still, there's many other types of advisors, but this is just a short list to kind of get you to familiarize you with the landscape. So now on to a little bit more fun part of the presentation. We're going to talk a little bit about other features at American colleges and universities. In order, we're going to go with Greek life. We're going to talk about student unions, campus recreation, on-campus living, on-campus dining, and finally intercollegiate athletics. So Greek life, as you can see from the photo here, these are some very stately Greek houses. I believe these are from the University of Maryland. And basically, Greek life includes fraternities and sororities, which are highly organized social clubs for men and women. In addition to social activities, these fraternities and sororities also sponsor charity events, and they really give members an opportunity to develop organizational and social skills and to network in hope of landing that dream job someday. So members of these Greek organizations generally pay an annual membership fee, which can be kind of expensive. So if you're thinking about engaging in Greek life, you'll need to budget probably anywhere between $500 and $1,500 a year to pay the membership fees. And from that membership fee, one of the many benefits that you'll receive is the possibility of living in one of these stately homes that was depicted on the previous page. Some students really like this. It gives them a sense of community. Also, another thing to think about with Greek organizations is that they often have their own distinct character, their distinct values, distinct activities. And what this means is that generally people who are interested in certain things join certain organizations. At each university, each organization has a different character. And during the so-called rush week, when you decide which organization to join, you'll have to decide which one is for you and which one best gels with your personal likes and tastes. Student union. Here is a couple of pictures of a couple of very nice student unions. The one on the right is the university I work at. It's a brand new building. They paid about $60 million to build. And basically the student union is the on-campus center of activity for students, faculty, and staff, and is really designed to enhance the quality of student life and to support co-curricular activities and really contribute to the university's educational mission. In the student union, you're going to find a lot of different things. You're going to find offices, meeting spaces, student club offices, student organizations, a lot of casual dining, coffee shops, movie theaters, game rooms, even some shopping. The thing about student unions is they're going to vary widely depending on the type of college or university you're at, and part of it is size. A larger university will probably have a bigger, more robust student union, but it's not always the case. If this is something you're really interested in, you should look at each university on a case-by-case basis and evaluate the student union that they have and figure out which is the right fit for you. So next, campus recreation. This is one of the aspects of U.S. Colleges and universities that's generally quite different for international students. As you can see in these photos, these are two student recreation centers. On the left, you can see the outside view. On the right, you can see the gigantic swimming pool. Campus recreation centers generally offer programs and services that are designed to enhance the students' co-curricular experience and promote the development of things like self-esteem, leadership, skills, healthy behaviors, etc. Most recreation centers include intramural sports like volleyball and basketball and soccer, fitness facilities, swimming pools, climbing walls, running tracks, indoor courts, etc. The thing that you should know about these recreation centers is this is a benefit of your enrollment at the university. By and large, they cost nothing beyond your tuition fee. You'll be able to use them. They're generally open very early in the morning to very late in the evening. So if you're someone who likes to engage in these types of activities, you can rest assured that when you're in the U.S., you'll have no problem doing any of these things, working out, playing sports, etc. So moving on to residential life, the photo on the left depicts a relatively new student apartment complex. The photo on the right depicts a standard traditional double dormitory room at a American college. Okay, so a couple things to think about when considering on-campus living and residential life. At a lot of universities, international students must live on campus for at least a portion up to all 4 years of their term of study. The thing that you should understand about this, though, is that even if you do have a requirement to live on campus, as you progress through your time at the university, your living options will generally improve. You'll probably begin in a dormitory room with 1 or 2 roommates, but as time moves on, you'll be able to move to an apartment or even a house if you desire. And one of the best features of this type of living arrangement is that you're going to be located very close, within easy walking distance of all of the university buildings. At my university in America, all campus living buildings are located within a 10-minute walk of classrooms, of the student union, of the recreation center, etc. So that's a really nice feature, and it makes it very easy to wake up and be in class a half hour later. All right, on to dining. And this photo here depicts what I would consider to be an average American university dining hall. Most universities require freshman and sophomore students to have a meal plan. And generally, if you are required to or choose to live on campus, as you progress to a junior or senior status, you'll also have to have a meal plan. So if you're on campus, you probably have a meal plan. That's not generally a bad thing, because dining facilities offer really an amazing selection of different kinds of food, and are actually set up as all you can eat and drink restaurants. They have different stations with different types of ethnic food, and this is an area that's really improved over the last 10 or so years. So you should look forward to this. Dining facilities are usually open from 7 a.m. until 10 or 11 p.m. Some universities even offer 24-hour options. So if that's something you're interested in, if you're a late night diner, you should check this out before you choose your school. And finally, maybe the most unique aspect to the U.S. college experience, intercollegiate athletics. The photo here depicts an American football game, and the stadium is full of about 100,000 fans. Depending on the school you choose, these types of sports may be very popular. Men's football, men's basketball, men's hockey, and to a lesser extent, baseball, women's basketball, and there are some other sports too that are fairly popular. Many other sports are offered, but these are the ones that generally draw the biggest crowds. Many universities attract over 100,000 spectators to football games and as many as 20 to 30,000 spectators to basketball games. And, if you're a student at a university that operates in this way, it's really a good opportunity to get together with other students, with alumni, and to have fun. You don't necessarily have to love the sport or even really enjoy the game to go and have a good time.